Well, President Cyril Ramaphosa has launched the Mooikloof development. It's hoped the 30 billion rand infrastructure development project, which is situated east of Pretoria, will provide affordable housing and job opportunities. The new city is the outcome of a public-private partnership between Balwin Properties, the Gauteng government, and the city of Tshwane. Newsroom Africa's Malungelo Boy joins us now live. Malungelo, what was the reaction to the launch of this mega city?
I mean, Kathy, one thing for certain is that this was the first time we're seeing President Cyril Ramaphosa, in fact, out on the streets. We have not seen him in months. So this actually tells you about the importance of this development. They're saying that this project will actually see about 50,000 apartments, and it will create also about 41,000 jobs. And he believes really this is just part of reviving the economy that is actually, he says, it's in a dark hole because of COVID-19.
Malungelo, Balwin is a well-known property developer. Interesting to hear them being spoken about in the same breath as low-income housing. Is that really what this is going to be?
So the reason is that Balwin, as you rightfully said, is a property developer. But if you look into this development, Kathy, so officials are saying that they're targeting those who earn between 3,500 and 22,000 rand a month. So those are people that would ordinarily not easily get bonds from government. So they call them the housing missing middle. And what government is saying that's why they partnered with this property developer to sort of like assist. They're trying to accommodate those people that can't get bonds from government. And most of them, Kathy, we know that it's mainly public servants, from your teachers, police, and other personnel. And also, if you look into the area, the location where this actually development will be taking place, it's in Mooikloof. It's one of the affluent areas in Pretoria. So authorities are saying that they're also trying to breach that social divide that we've seen in some of the areas in Cape Town, and also at times in cities like Johannesburg, where you see people who have to serve, in some of these affluent areas, having to travel about 40 kilometers at times. So what government is saying, that they're trying to bring people who would actually be traveling those 40 kilometers to get to their workstations closer to where economic activities are taking place.
Malungelo, estate living in and of itself can be quite expensive too. How is government planning on regulating the need, I would imagine, for Balwin to be able to make some good money off of an investment like this, and at the same time try and maintain contain the costs in this matter? Levies for estates can be quite expensive, and those go up every year. So it might seem affordable now, but in 5 years' time, it may well be pushing people out.
So there's something that most of us, Kathy, did not know, that actually, if you qualify for a house and you don't have a deposit, government actually can assist you. So this is what I've actually learned today, that our government actually has means of assisting people who can actually, who can't afford to sort of like put in deposit, because even here, they'll be expected to put in deposit. Obviously, there's a criteria that those that will be applying for this, to be part of this development will have to meet. We have already been told, though, that about 200 units have already been sold, and it comes at a time, Kathy, where we know in this country that housing is quite a contentious issue. So what authorities are also trying to do here is to kill two birds with one stone. They're trying to address the issue of unemployment. We've seen the numbers that were released by Stats SA last week, that 2.2 million people lost their jobs in the second quarter of the year. But at the same time, though, we're looking into the issue of housing in this country. We know the housing backlog is close to about 4 million, and the bulk of that housing is here in Gauteng.
Malungelo, we hear that this is the first of many projects that are yet to be launched. Speak to us about the bigger agenda that is at play here.
I spoke to Dr. Cyril Ramaphosa, who heads the infrastructure division within the presidency. In fact, he's the driver behind some of these initiatives. He says there's about 52 of these projects, Kathy, that were gazetted, and some of these projects not only include what we're currently seeing, which is this one, which is human settlements, but we're also talking about bulk infrastructure here. There's also roads, and he was saying those projects, all in all, would create a total of over 200,000 jobs. But all in total, these projects are at the value of about 340 billion rand. They're saying that most of the people, most of this money is not all of this money is going to come from government. They're saying that they're working with private partners.
340 rand is no 40 billion rand rather is not child's play. And one of the questions that people are already asking is, who exactly is going to benefit from these deals? We were already seeing the drawing of the link between the president and the chair of Baldwin Properties. Where are the black companies that are also going to be part of these, the construction of these cities?
In fact, that's one of the things President Cyril Ramaphosa did mention, that he called on our black contractors to come on board. I want us to take a listen to that.
And this is where we want black construction industry people to play a key role, in boosting experience, in boosting investment, and in boosting the activity that needs to come out of this. The success of any future mega housing development rests in the end with public-private sector collaboration, because the public sector cannot do this alone, nor can the private sector do this alone. So that collaborative interface needs to be there at all times. Private sector resources and expertise will aid government's efforts to meet the housing demand that is so huge in our country. The public sector can incentivize further investment by providing the necessary bulk infrastructure to enable development. Precisely what Premier Makura and his colleagues and the Metro are going to be focusing attention on. It is this approach that has made it possible for this development to take off. The reality is that the fiscus cannot on its own support the rising housing demand in our country. COVID-19 has worsened an already dire situation in our public finances. We'll be looking at how best to leverage private sector resources, but also private sector skills to help government deliver on its mandate to provide decent housing to the people of our country.
All right, that's President Cyril Ramaphosa there, Kathy. But also, I think it's important, there's a question that I pose to Patricia de Lille, because we know in every initiative like this, there'll be corruption. So her response to me was that they have appointed an outside company that will do due diligence, making sure that they account for every transaction that is taking place in some of these projects.
Well,